Good morning everybody, welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Welcome to yet another update on Solana. I've covered this quite often in the last 24 hours. It's been relatively strong. It's one of the strongest major altcoins right now in the entire space. It's significantly stronger than Ethereum, significantly stronger than XRP, significantly stronger than Sui, although Sui of course had some fundamental pressure of itself as well. And therefore wanted to cover Solana. Now, yesterday in my middle of the day market update, I was still talking about that we were holding the breakout. Unfortunately, we have lost the breakout, right? Now, does that necessarily mean that it's over for Solana and we cannot rally? That was the expectation yesterday, right? I mean, yesterday we saw a lot of relative strength for Solana, not only for Solana specifically, but also in the Solana ecosystem. So we were talking about that breakout and getting that move into 191, 192. And Solana is one of the only majors that actually still has the opportunity to do that, technically. And fundamentally as well. I mean, we looked at the fundamentals yesterday. I'll quickly touch upon those again in this video. My apologies. But no, the fundamentals are quite good, right? DEX trading volume is pretty high. Again, after the day we spoke about yesterday, where we had $7.1 billion in volume, which is pretty incredible. I've said that before, but that's the highest we've seen since the beginning of February, the 3rd of February, when we had that first tariffs spike down. So that's incredible. And then you can also see ecosystem projects, like in my opinion, and this is definitely not a coin you should miss. Like Jupiter is also still looking great on the higher time frames, I'd say. But yeah, that's up to you to explore. But that's definitely an added confluence as to why I still view Solana as one of the coins that can break out. Now, ultimately, the problem is, of course, the fundamentals, right? The fundamentals right now are just very there's a lot of instability, and if there's instability, high risk altcoins, which Solana, if you compare to most stocks, still is, have a very hard chance to break out, right? And that's not great English, but still, hopefully you know what I mean. And that's also why I still think we can break out. It's not most likely. All right, I think fundamentally a lot is into the direction of a breakout when we're taking a look at the DEX trading volumes, but also just in general, its relative performance against Ethereum, against Sui, against Bitcoin even. So that's all great. However, like I said, given the instability, but also given what we've done technically, because technically what you can see right here, Solana has dropped back down into the balance between 178 and 166. That just makes me say it's most likely that we will, after dropping back down into that balance, that we will stay in that balance, which is in line with the general fundamentals for the general crypto market. And that therefore we will also drop back down to the bottom of the balance right here at 166 and 164. So I would say that is most likely. Now, like I said at the start of the video, there is still a scenario in which we can rally, because one of the things that Solana has, which a lot of coins do not have, is that Solana is still holding some major support levels within that balance, within that range, right? So we have fallen back down into the range and the fundamentals are unstable. That's why I expect us to pull back lower. But technically, we're still above the POC right here, the point of control at 172. We're still holding the 7-day rolling VWAP. We're still holding the yearly rolling VWAP. That's one hell of a level. All right. So if for some reason we're able to hold that level going into Monday, because I don't expect much movement over the course of this weekend, to be fair. But if we're able to hold that level going into Monday, then I again will start to think that, Solana is actually strong enough, or at least relatively very strong. And technically there is this opening and this possibility for a bullish setup. That we will still reclaim, break out and rally up higher, right? So that is a possibility. It is something to keep in mind. But like I said, again, to end this video, fundamentally with the instability and with the drop back down into range, with quite a lot of volume as well for Solana, I would say it's the safe option to assume that we're back into the range and that we'll fall back down to the bottom of the range therefore. But those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know. I will definitely keep you updated on this. It's a very interesting coin, a very interesting setup right now. But that's it. So thank you for watching. Take care and bye.